Liberty Fighters Network.
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 Liberty Fighters Network. Liberty Fighters Network.
Dear Liberators and fellow South Africans, again I'm at a point where I'm going to criticize the work of DearSA, and I'm not apologetic towards it, because I'm going to show you what I have been doing and you'll be the judge. If you part of those few people who decide not to support us, be free. I'm not going to cry about you. But I'm not a hypocrite, and I will not change our goals that we have set for us from the very beginning. Now the subject here specifically is the protection of constitutional democracy against terrorists and related activities, amendment bill, and here specifically DearSA has issued this pamphlet or notice that they want you to circulate, and they are saying that the amendment sets a broad definition of terrorist activity, and there is no single internationally agreed upon definition of terrorism. The broad definition is problematic as it would enable the state to criminalize any citizen who supports one side of a controversial topic, or those who criticize or challenge the government's policies or legislation as encouragement or indirect facilitation of terrorism. Now, people, they've done a project on this on their website. Let me quickly go to that. There's the project, and when you can download this and the bill and everything, very nice. Oh, and there is Riotous Assemblies. What is Riotous Assemblies doing there? So let me just quickly go to this. Riotous Assemblies attorneys wrote a letter on behalf of AfriForum. Very coincidental that DearSA again is aligning themselves with AfriForum and Riotous Assemblies. And when you read this letter, you will actually read that they are saying that there is actually legislation that can do this. Why undergo to make changes to this very complicated act, which they are 100% correct. It is indeed a very complicated act, and but it's done on DearSA's website. Riotous Assemblies is doing the submission, and remember what I've said before, that now people are energized to make an emotional decision to now go and comment on DearSA's website. And after you've done your emotional voting, which they say is commenting, but it's actually they want to get the statistics to how many are against and how many are not. But in any event, now after you've done your commenting on that, and they just merely send your comment to an email address of the government, they just forward, they just the intermediary. Now then you receive a request, please donate to us, would you like to receive newsletters, and then you're going to be bombarded. You're firstly going to make a very emotional, justified donation to them, and then you're going to be bombarded all the time with all these emotional changes to legislation that you must do this, make comments, otherwise your liberties will be taken away from you. People, if you don't realize this by now, that we never had any liberties. Our liberties have always been controlled. We were made to believe that we've got all these liberties, but at the end of the day, it's only on paper, and in the actual life, we don't have that. We were made to believe that that everyone has been liberated in 1994 when we've got this wonderful new constitution. That's all lies. We have not been liberated. What have been given on the one side have been taken away on the other side. And by now we should know that. So why are they doing this? Why are they creating all these strange acts and legislation? Because of fear-mongering. The more fear they create, the more people will be controlled to say that, okay, if we do this, we're going to be punished. So I'm rather going to wear the mask because I don't want to be prosecuted. I don't want to land in jail. So I'll rather comply. I'm fear. I've got a lot of fear in me. I'm very much scared. So if they use a DearSA to create fear-mongering that if you challenge the government, you might be a terrorist. That is what they want you to believe. And this is where I say, DearSA, you are controlled opposition because of the fact that you are doing it. So I don't care what you and whatever happens, but this, I will show the people now that what you are warning them about can already be done through the Riotous Assemblies Act of 1956 under the old apartheid years, which is still used today, every day, in our criminal courts. So let me show you this. Firstly, let me show you the protection from protection of constitutional democracy against terrorist and related activities as it stands now. Terrorist activity, when you read this definition, you will see that they can, what DearSA claims they're going to do with the new bill, they can already do that. And then there's the Riotous Assemblies Act, way back from 1956, which is used today to prosecute people for conspiracy to commit a crime, especially conspiracy to commit murder. Some famous activists will know quite a lot about that. And then it says, any person who attempts to commit any offence against a statute or statutory regulation shall be guilty of an offence, and if no punishment is expressly provided thereby for such an attempt, be liable on conviction to the punishment to which a person convicted of actually committing that offence would be liable. And subsection 2, any person who conspires with any other person to aid or procure the commission of, or to commit, or incites, instigates, commands, or procures any other person to commit any offence, whether at common law or against a statute or statutory regulation, shall be guilty of an offence and liable on conviction to the punishment to which a person convicted of actually committing that offence would be liable. Now, that is what the Riotous Assemblies Act is saying. But strangely, and never have DearSA nor heard the space attorneys on all the platforms that they are preaching, please, this is, our liberties are going to be taken away from us. What they don't tell you is that none other, believe it or not, the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, have succeeded in 2020 with a Constitutional Court judgment whereby the court have declared some of those parts in the Riotous Assemblies Act as unconstitutional and invalid. And let me show you this. There in Constitutional Court of South Africa, under Economic Freedom Fighters and another versus Minister of Justice and Correctional Services and another, 2020 ZACC 25, it was heard on the 18th of February, decided on the 27th of November 2020, and there it is that Section 18.2b of the Riotous Assemblies Act is declared to be inconsistent with Section 16.1 of the Constitution and invalid to the extent that it criminalizes the incitement of another to commit any offense. And then they say that during the period of suspension of the order of invalidity, Section 18.2b of the Riotous Assemblies Act should be read as follows. Any person who incites, instigates, commands, or procures any other person to commit any serious offence, that was the part that was inserted, whether at common law or against a statute or statutory regulation, shall be guilty of an offence and liable on conviction to the punishment to which a person convicted of actually committing that offence would have been liable. And just finally, what does 16.1 say? Everyone has the right to freedom of expression, which includes freedom of the press and other media, freedom to receive or impart information or ideas, freedom of artistic creativity and academic freedom, and freedom of scientific, people, just go and read that judgment of the Constitutional Court, and then everything that DearSA have warned you about that will happen if you criticize the government, you will now be a terrorist, have already been discussed by the Constitutional Court in 2020 in the EFF matter. Exactly the same. So their fear-mongering that all our liberties will be taken away have been damned by that. And nowhere have heard the speech or DearSA told the people about that judgment, have they? So this is the way that you need to interpret that. And people, It doesn't matter how you comment, how much comments you send in. If the government wants to make legislation, they will. Your comment will not stop them to make it. Yes, you will be able to challenge it afterwards, and then DearSA will use her peace attorneys and AfriForum to do that for them. Very nice ambulance chasing tactics that's going on here. And then further, people, legislation, any crime, go and read the Terrorist Act. Go and read it. And you will realize that it's the intention of committing a criminal act. I am very much outspoken about the government. I'm not being prosecuted as a terrorist or under the Riotous Assemblies Act yet. Because of the fact that I've got no intention to prejudice the government or anyone. I'm sending a message. I'm opening up a debate about a discussion about something that's wrong in our country. So that is nothing is wrong with that. And it will, with current legislation, even if they don't implement the bill, they can still do it. They could have done it since 1956 if they really wanted to. But the fact is, people, that there's so much fear-mongering going on about your liberties have been taken away. Yes, firstly, you cannot take away something that was never there. And then with they're monitoring us and they're going to spy on us. Get alive, people. They have done it already. They can do it now, and most probably they are doing it now if they really want to monitor you. I know that I've been monitored and are being monitored, but why does it not affect me at all? Because there's nothing that I'm saying that they can use against me. Nothing. I'm not nipping the cat in the dog. I'm not going to bars. I'm not making a fool of myself by being drunk, because I don't drink, use alcohol. So I don't smoke. I don't use drugs. There's absolutely no crime that I'm committing whatsoever. Well, if you, a criminal, if you are nipping the cat in the dog, you've got a problem. You're the one who must be concerned, because they, once monitored, they can use your criminalities and your secrets against you to control you. You are the people who we must be afraid of, because you are the people who can be controlled. You are the ones who's going to stab us in the back at the end of the day, because there's something they can use against you to control you. And as far as you, like me, uncontrollable, even if they put $100 billion on the table, I will immediately tell you, guys, they've done this. What are we going to do with this money? So they know they cannot bribe me. They know that they cannot control me by my crimes or whatever the case may be. So that's why I'm still here. So people, if you don't have anything to hide, then the reality is that if they want to use any act against you for any reason, they will do it. And if they eventually start doing this against me, then I will fight it, and I will be glad to go to Robben Island if I need to. But people, there's no use. All these acts, expropriation of land. Oh, they're going to take away our land. They could have done it under apartheid years too. So what's the fuss? It's only when you've got land and you're not using it that they can take it away. And I honestly don't have any problem with that, because if you've got land, well, millions and millions of us, including myself, don't have any land of my own, and you've got all this plenty of land and you're not using it at all, then it can be used by someone who can do something with that. So in that respect, I don't have any problem. If you really want to fight legislation, if you really are worried that our liberties are going to be affected by this, then yes, feel free and make the comments, support DearSA when they've got this act, or when they've got this court case going, that they're fighting this act for our freedom, and they send out a newsletter to say, oh, please support us, our legal fees, heritage fees are costing us a lot of money. Feel free to do that, but be warned that your emotions are unnecessarily triggered, and you are then making an emotional decision based on incorrect information. People, I just wanted to get this off my bucket list, because this is really irritating. Please don't send any, please comment on this legislation, because our liberties will be taken away or will be affected. I've been the one who's constantly challenging that in any event. So whenever I see a problem, I will tackle it. Liberty Fighters Network will tackle that. But I'm not going to make waves about this Terrorist Act bill. People, you don't have to be afraid of that. I think I've discussed it. Thank you for supporting us. Subscribe to our channel. Consider joining us as a member. Share this, very important, share this to many people, and also ring the bell if you want us to notify you whenever there's new videos. Thanks a lot for your support. God bless.
Liberty Fighters Network.
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 Liberty Fighters Network.